Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I will show you the steps it takes to humanely capture and release a skunk into the wilderness. In this example, I will be using a medium-sized animal trap that can be purchased at a hardware store for about $30. The trap is now ready to be set and baited. I usually use a piece of fruit as bait for the trap. In this example, we will use an apple. Refer to the instruction manual to understand how to properly set the trap. It will have a small learning curve at the beginning, but with practice, it gets easier. After the trap is properly set, it can be baited with a piece of fruit. When baiting the trap, I always make sure the bait rests towards the back wall of the trap so that the animal properly triggers it when trying to reach the bait. It is always a good idea to test the trap to make sure it functions when the trigger is hit. You can now relocate the trap somewhere to lure a skunk. I prefer to place the trap along fence lines. Once placed in the location of your choice, leave the trap alone and perform periodic checks. In my experience, skunks are usually trapped overnight. Once you discover a skunk in the trap, it is now time to transfer it to the wilderness without getting sprayed. I recommend using the following items when transferring the skunk: a mask, gloves, a long sleeve, goggles, a hat, and a tarp. I like to use a tarp so that the skunk doesn't see me, as well as providing protection if it decides to spray. Once you have the tarp over the trap, you can now safely pick it up by the handle and walk it to the truck. After the trap is in the truck, put something heavy on everything to ensure that it doesn't blow off while driving. I use cinder blocks to hold the tarp down during the drive. When the release location is reached, take the weight off the tarp, grab the trap by the handle, and walk it to the release point. I try to find a sloped area so that the skunk runs downhill and away from me so I don't get sprayed. Keep the trap covered with the tarp and stand behind it so that the skunk is not able to see you. Uncover only the side of the trap that opens up and unlatch the door. Sometimes the animal doesn't want to immediately run out of the trap, and you may have to lift the trap to help it out. Be very careful when the skunk finally runs out of the trap. You could still get sprayed. The skunk is now successfully released into the wilderness. I recommend airing all your equipment out for a few hours after every use. Depending on the strength of the skunk odor, you may have to rinse the tarp out if you plan to use it at a later time. Be sure to sanitize those hands. Thank you all for viewing my instructional video, and I hope it has been helpful in your trapping adventures.